Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Nicole Oman.
And I'm Ryan Oman.
And we are
The
here.
Empowering Omens.
We are the Empowering Omens.
Oh, no, that's right.
That's true, we are. We are the Empowering Omens. And we're here on Sunday.
Spirit Sunday.
With your Spirit Sunday celebration.
Yes, thank goodness. We finally made it.
Oh my goodness.
Celebrate good time. Come on.
And it has been quite a week. Last week we had a partial eclipse and a full moon. And we were clearing a lot of old negative beliefs and doubts and things that didn't serve us. And a lot around communication, well, especially for us. And really learning how to harmonize. And I don't know if you're feeling it too, but it has been a bit of a whirlwind, a bit of an intense week. So as we go into this week, we are really letting all of that go, honoring that beautiful release that we had, and we're really starting to align. And so thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for joining us through the week.
Yes.
If you watched us this week, we went into some intense vulnerability and we had to realign with each other. And when I found a lot of people with their own feedback has been telling me how they have been at odds with the feminine and the masculine. And so if you are still healing that relationship within you or externally, you're not alone. We've been doing all of that work too.
Yes, misery loves company. It has been a tough week, but we kind of saw that coming last week. All the cards were in reverse. There was a lot of pent up or blocked energy that needed to be released or exfoliated. We did a lot of peeling back, especially on Thankful Thursday during that heart chakra stuff. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, Spirit Sunday is all about completing the energy of the previous week and then moving into the energy of the next week. Also, this is our 6th week. So it's one of those things we've committed to doing this for 7 weeks. So we'll do this for 2 more weeks. And as we've been going through each week, the themes have been really relating to each individual chakra as we're working our way up. So a lot of ways you can think of this next week is this is the week of the third eye. Now we are going to go into each individual chakra just like we do every week, but the theme is kind of revolving around vision and a new vision for our future. And so
and who we are, a new vision of who we are, what we're capable of, and those old paradigms that have kept us stuck in the past, whether that be doubt or self-sabotage or maybe the resources or the lack mentality or scarcity that has held us back. We really cleared a lot of that last week, and especially with that eclipse energy that we had for those the last 3 weeks or so. We really, as individuals, as a community, and also in the collective, have been really shedding those. And you're seeing some funny things, out in the collective consciousness, whether it be media or whatnot. But know that this stuff is clearing. But clearing is not enough. Once you clear a room filled with old boxes, there's a void space. So we have to now align with who we are and what we feel is in alignment with us and really begin to claim that.
Right, and just to finish my original thought is that we're only going to be doing this for 2 more weeks leading up to the retreat. And then after that, we're going to take a little pause on our videos. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that these will be our last 2 weeks of doing the chakra videos for a little bit because we are going into our retreat.
Yep. And then we're going to figure out what we want to birth and play with and create in that time. So keep tuning in because we are going to be shifting it a little bit. I feel like these chakra videos really have been helping us clear through our stuff, but also moving us up to our next level of creation.
Leveling up. Yeah, and speaking of leveling up, it's time to move out of the energy of last week and move into the energy of the next week. If you've joined us on Spirit Sunday before, then you know this is the week where we have already climbed up the ladder and now we get to slide down the slide and go whee, which is what we say when we are having fun. We refer to ourselves
to other people.
So you want to go back into last week's energy and talk about what we accomplished?
Yeah, let's see what we cleared so we know what we can finally say hallelujah, goodbye to.
Yeah.
And then moving and anchoring into the next week. So go ahead, Rye.
Well, the energy of Spirit Sunday that we have now as a completion energy is creativity and abundance. Now, both of those cards were pulled in reverse last week, and I think that the whole purpose for that was to flip those cards around by doing all the work we did during the week. And that's how we get into our theme of the week, which was celebration. So we can celebrate the fact that we did all the things that we needed to do during the week to get ourselves to experience the abundance and to unlock our creativity.
And as we do that, that's what we're going to be working on today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really feeling into our new creativity and the abundance of that. And I also feel connected to that is that scarcity mentality. So here, right here on the crown, maybe that abandonment or scarcity we feel we have with our connection to God or Spirit.
Right.
A lot of times we feel abandoned by God, so that's why we also feel scarcity or this fear of scarcity in our manifestation. Mm-hmm. So it's when we're getting into that, we want to make sure we're letting all of that go.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the work that we did throughout the week was the purpose for that is to reconnect with that source energy, with that God energy, the knowledge. The universe, if you will, just trying to get that connection rebuilt and reestablished, but to do it with that new vision in mind. Yesterday, when we were in our Insightful Saturday, we were talking about new vision and dream. And this, I think, this energy, I think, is what's bringing us into the next week. So I think that, apropos, the third eye was kind of giving us the vision for the next week a little bit ahead of schedule, which is kind of what it does, looks ahead.
Well, and so here's the things that we cleared this week. We started with that manifestation Monday and that.
Oh, I was going down the other direction. That's why I said the new vision and the dream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I just kind of want to clear that.
Yeah, we'll just play. We'll go through the week. You guys know. You watch the videos.
We'll figure it out. We had to clear a lot of laziness and exhaustion energy. There was a lot of lethargy, but once we popped through that, we went into that control as well and that fear of those possibilities. Then we went into this fear of transformation and really opening. And that's when it got really tricky.
Yeah.
That's when we started getting into our heart chakra. And when we got into that fear of trust, oh man, did we get into that fear of trust.
Yeah, Thankful Thursday, if you guys tuned in on that video, it was a rough day. And I can say especially for me because I was really up against it that day. And that was when we talked about the story or the analogy of the dragon and the princess, and the dragon and the princess having to shed layers in order to see the true version of each other so that they could really commune as a couple.
And that is bringing us into also that fear of who we are as a creator and what we're creating in our life. I mean, if we're not trusting ourselves and we're not trusting our own divine light, I mean, that's what ends up making us go into that control, hitting our head against the wall over and over and over again. And it's really trusting that vulnerability. We're going to be going into that a lot next week too, is really trusting our vulnerability, shedding more of that armor and allowing us to be seen, really, really seen, not for this facade, this mask that we put on, but really be seen for who we are. And are we safe in that? It can look really scary being the vulnerable one, the naked one when everybody else is wearing parkas. Right. But it's one of those things that if we're not being really, truly who we are, nothing's going to change.
Right, and that goes back into our receptivity and sharing, which is essentially synonymous with listening and speaking our truth. So that was when we were dealing with the throat chakra and we were talking about communication. That pretty much covers what we went through last week. And so now that we've gotten to the end of all of that, we get to celebrate, which was the whole purpose of last week. But what we didn't know is that it wasn't a week of celebration, it was a week leading up to celebration. And so now that we're here, we can celebrate that we're here. We've taken all of that stuff and we've brought it up to the surface. We've dealt with it. Let's celebrate that. So as we get into the meditation to close last week, I want you to bring in that celebratory energy. I want you to congratulate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a little hurrah, whatever it takes to make yourself feel better about all the work you went through and give yourself that positive reinforcement that we so desperately need in order to continue our path moving forward. So the crown chakra bowl is resonating with the sound of Om. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with oming. So what we're going to, the omens are going to do some oming with you. We'll do 7 ohms to seal the energy of last week.
And let's bring in those last bit with the 2 cards that we have for the crown chakra.
Oh, right, yes, yeah.
Which
is
was
creativity and abundance.
Yep, let's bring in a new level of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Opening up that right side of the brain, because sometimes we lock on to the logic. And the logic can bring us a certain amount of structure, sure. But if you only are open to your logic, guess what? You're spinning around in circles.
Yeah.
You have to open both sides of the brain.
Totally.
The creativity within you, that feminine side, is going to bring a new sense of abundance. And I kind of love this because it's feminine and masculine.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are wanting more abundance, we need to tap into that creative way. Because if you feel stuck in the mundane, the 9 to 5, and there's no creativity in your life, then you're lacking a sense of adventure, a sense of color, a sense of joy, a sense of creation in your life. And that is all part of abundance. Abundance isn't just money. It's really enjoying the fruits of the planet, enjoying the fruits of your life, enjoying the people and all their flavors and colors of your life. So in this crown chakra, can we open to divine creativity and divine abundance of all things, so we can really feel into that wealth that we already have, that richness that we already have right there in the crown chakra.
So as we get into our meditation, I want you to take your creativity and abundance and infuse it into the closing ceremony, if you will, of last week. So as we breathe in our abundance, we're going to exhale creativity, or create. We're going to put our creation out into the universe or into the world. And so we're going to do the ohms, but again, when you breathe in, we want to bring in the abundance that we have harnessed, that we have cultivated, and we are going to exhale with our creativity.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today and all throughout the week. Moving up these beautiful rainbow ladder so we can really, truly clear anything that no longer serves and connect to our true nature. Celebrate your beautiful self today. Open up to receive all the beauty that you are right now. You are a beautiful, divine, creative force in the world. Trust yourself. Allow those layers of scarcity, of doubt, of fear, of not good enough to let go so you can truly be seen. Allow yourself to be more vulnerable, more open, more creative, and more abundant this week. Feel into your own connection to spirit today. yourself to celebrate today. Thank you so much for going through that journey that we had last week. Thank you so much for having so much courage. Let's celebrate our individuality and our creativity so that we can really express it, because that's what we had a lot of blocks around, is really expressing in harmony of who we really are. It is so. It is so. It is so. It is so. So we're going to be moving into the week ahead. We're going to give you a little bit of a snapshot of the theme, but also give you a little bit of a snapshot of what we're going to go into individually for each chakra for the rest of the week, and really set you up with the gold bowl. Yay! Everybody loves the gold bowl. Set you up with the gold bowl to give you a little extra energy so we can get into divine alignment.
Yeah, so we've got a week of a lot less resistance this time. I would say quite literally half the resistance. I believe almost every card we pulled for last week was in reverse. This time, half of the cards are in reverse. So there's still some resistance. And
a lot of the cards that are in reverse are the cards of negativity. And so when those are reversed, it means that there's a light energy of that resistance or negativity in our life, but we're at this point willing to let it go, and it doesn't have its grip on us. We have more empowerment over those things that have stopped us in the past.
All right, so drum roll, theme of next week.
We have totality. So
totality.
Totality means that we are moving from one place, one part of ourselves, and we're quite literally, swinging to the other side. But that takes a lot of trust, takes a lot of surrender, and it takes a lot of letting go.
Yes, you gotta let go of the previous swing in order to grab on to your partner, as far as this card is concerned, and move on to the next one. Another analogy I like to use for this is a climbing analogy. If you are climbing up a mountain, there are little tie-offs where you have to lock in your safety line and then climb up to the next one. Then you have to detach your previous safety line and attach to the next one. If you don't detach from the previous safety line, even though that's what got you to where you are now, you can't get to where you want to be unless you detach to one and attach to the next.
And the funny thing about that is I said this analogy this week, and I was getting so darn frustrated with my own process because I feel like I have that grappling hook and I keep trying to latch on to these other places of the mountain. But with this week and the other cards that I have, that part of the mountain, we have to detach from the old, but we really have to trust ourselves. This time I think we might be freebasing a little bit because it's all about our own self-mastery. So
I think she meant free climbing. Freebasing is slightly different.
Well, what is it? I don't want to know.
Freebasing is something you do with drugs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Free climbing? I thought it was
free
climbing. I don't know. Oh well.
I mean, if you really want to have an intense experience this week, freebasing is the way to go. But from what I understand, it's very expensive, and it takes it has some side effects.
Okay, I have no idea. Okay, so what we're moving away from is this sense of fighting. Right? So we're fighting our way through the week. We are really hitting in all that intensity. We don't want to do that really this week. The way to let go of that fighting is to be vulnerable. The card has this intense amount of armor on, and the armor is rusted. So it might be rusting on our skin, making us sick. So why are we holding on to the things that aren't working anymore? Because we have a fear of vulnerability. So now it's time to shed one layer, like we did on that heart chakra. We got to shed one layer at a time.
This poor dragon can't take any more shedding.
But what you'll find is your own self, your own inner mastery, where you're not looking around for other people to tell you who you are or how to do it. You have to trust yourself. That's why you have to go on your own climb, and you're not really linking into another part of the mountain. You're really literally having to trust what you know from your life experience to really climb up that mountain with your own free will, with who you are. And so that's what we're moving into, is a state of inner mastery, and really being willing to trust that talk, right? Oh, I really want to have a fulfilling life. Well, what are you going to do to live that? Who are you right now to live that life?
Yeah. Woo. All right. No pressure though, right? It's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. But as we said, we're going to give you kind of a little taster of each day of the week. We've already pulled the cards for the week, and we will obviously go into more detail on each individual day. But as we get into Manifestation Monday, we're going to start to talk about abundance and celebration. These cards have been coming up for a lot for us lately, but they are in reverse. Reverse. Everybody clap your hands.
So we got to go back into trusting, right? We have to, oh God, that manifestation. We're still maybe not seeing the fruits of our labors, and that is stressing ourselves out. But we got to go back into that sense. Why are we feeling that scarcity? Why are we feeling that scarcity? Can we trust that maybe in that fear of scarcity, we are letting that lower frequency go? Because on Manifestation Monday, we are going to be linking into greater trust that sometimes that manifestation is not linear, and can a miracle drop within us when we have that sense of faith, that deep sense of faith for that truly that abundance to take hold in our life.
Yeah, and I think that today on Spirit Sunday, where you have an opportunity, because we are completing the celebration energy, but we are moving into more celebration. So these cards are telling us that there may be some work still yet to be done. We might have gotten 95% of the way there, but maybe we have 5% more to do. So as you get into your own personal meditation process today, whatever that looks like for you, maybe just sit into it a little bit more and sit with the idea of celebration and see if you can get those cards to turn around.
And then we're moving in, as we move into the sacral chakra, we'll be moving into our inner voice and our creative nature. That's very much that kind of sacral chakra. He's even connected to his sacral chakra.
Right, yeah. So the sacral chakra, that's where we all were created from, right? It all came from the womb, and that is where the masculine and feminine meet to create something beautiful. But remember, we've got to work through this. Another reverse card here, this inner voice.
We got to connect to it.
Are we listening?
Are we listening?
Are we listening to our inner voice? Are we paying attention?
Are we creating from our inner voice?
Yes. Are we trying to force things, or are we allowing things to flow? Remember that sacral chakra is about water, so we'll get more into that on Tantric Tuesday.
And then on our solar plexus day, we are going to be moving out of the old dream, an old vision, and an old expectation for ourselves. And we're going to be fully moving into our self-confidence, and we're burning away any visions, any dreams, and any expectations that have wore on, or failures that have really worn down our self-esteem, and really connecting to our source light again so that we can have the energy to move forward.
Yeah, if we do the work that we need to do on that day, we'll really shine. And that's what that source card's all about. That personal light is shining through, which is right there with our Willpower Wednesday.
Once we get to the heart, we are having to let go of the mind. Here's the morality card. And the old good and bad, right and wrong. A lot of the should or shouldn'ts.
Yes, we should be doing this, and we should be doing it this way.
This is boxing us in. And as we box ourselves in, and we are doing that, we're doing that to our planet, we're doing that to each other, we're doing that to the world. And it's letting go of that and seeing all of us as one. We are the world. It's a oneness card. So in the heart, we're going into a state of deep self-compassion, deep compassion for other people and what we don't understand.
Yeah, and if we can break through those boundaries of the mind, then we will be able to connect with others.
And a lot of times we have a hard time, and we struggle, and we have suffering in our life because we look out in the world and we see all the horrible things, and we don't understand why there's such horrible things in the world. Where is God? Where is love? If all these weird things are happening. Kids are being put in cages, but we have to go into a state of the deepest compassion. The mother, the divine mother is coming online this week. I felt her today, and she entered my heart and gave me this wonderful, miraculous healing. And if we can get into that deep state of compassion, maybe some of those things in the mind will start shedding, so you can see your clear vision of why it is so important for you to be here at this time.
Right. And if we're able to go through all that, which doesn't sound easy, then we'll be ripe
and ready.
And we'll be ready to let go of the past.
Yes.
Clinging to the past and ripeness are the cards for Fearless Friday.
You are ready to let go of this old, very narrow-sighted way of thinking. This is a blockhead right there. We are blocked by some of our thoughts of the past, or who we are, or who we were in the past, or our feelings of not being worthy. But you are ripe. You're ready. And so this week we are really, really ready to bloom. Yay, finally, we're ready to bloom.
Oh, good timing too, because we're coming to the end of this 7-week process. So it's coming.
So as we get in the third eye, we have the silence card in reverse, and then the go with the flow. So even if we are not finding a sense of silence in that third eye, it is about trusting the emotions, trusting the flow that is currently happening in your life.
And this silence card is so perfect for the third eye chakra. You can see it right there. It's connecting to that energy. And if you can get silent and you can get quiet, then it'll be much more easy to go with the flow.
A lot of flow. And then this last crown card for next week is going to be success and breakthrough. Again, we keep getting these reverse cards for the next week, but I think it's because we have to go through the process so we can finally have that breakthrough and some success. I think it's really cool that we're almost at that 7th week. Next week will be that 7th week, and we're working on this is a full breath. This wasn't just 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. This 7 weeks has been like a complete healing process.
Absolutely.
So we're right on the edge of some massive breakthroughs. And again, we have this energy here in the solar plexus. We had a lot of that source energy of the creator. So our worth, our divine worth, is really trying to explode, break open, and really show you the divine creative mastery that you are as who you are right now.
Yeah, I can actually feel this sensation of a pot beginning to boil. And it's something that Nikki and I have been talking about the whole 7 week, or I guess the whole 5 weeks that have led up to now, working with this, with the chakras and putting the videos out there and the empowering omens and the golden collective and all the things. We jokingly call it watching the pot boil. It's like if you've ever sat there and stared at a pot that's trying to boil, that you're trying to get the water boiling. It doesn't do you any favors to sit there and stare at it, because it doesn't make it boil any faster. But it's hard not to, because if you're really invested and you really care about what you're trying to create, it's really hard not to keep checking in to see how it's going. And I can feel the energy I can literally feel it in my stomach. So it's got to be linked to my solar plexus, and it's just bubbling up right now. So there's some potential energy getting ready there. It's almost like a volcano. I can feel it coming.
Yeah, I feel it right here in my sacral.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, I feel it a little lower, but absolutely I'm feeling that too. So we're kind of holding that energy. And that's creation. I mean, I'm not surprised I'm in the sacral, the womb. And then you're here. So what we do now to get us ready for the week to come, we use the gold bowl to really activate and kind of energize us, because we have a week ahead.
Yep.
And so Ryan brings the vibrations and the sounds of each chakra, and we do all 7. So
this is the ladder analogy.
Yeah.
Right. So we're climbing back up the ladder. We slid down the slide with the purple, or the heart, or the crown chakra bowl, and now we are going to start climbing back up the ladder. So the energy of this gold bowl is really powerful, and we're going to use that energy to kind of propel us up the ladder, to give us that little boost. Like we have a 2-year-old daughter who is getting very adventurous on the playground these days, and she's starting to climb up the ladders on the playground, which makes me really, really fearful that she's going to slip and fall. And so there's always this impulse to want to get behind her and support her, put my hand right below her to make sure she doesn't fall. But the universe is there, just like a parent with its hand right below you, helping you up that ladder. And what we're going to do is we're going to call in that energy now to get up that ladder. And we'll do that by just going through each individual sound. If you watch our videos, we do a sound for each chakra. The root chakra is Lam. The sacral chakra is Vam. Then you move into the solar plexus, which is Ram or Ram. And then the heart chakra, which is Yam. Throat chakra is Ham. Third eye, that is Sham. And finally, the crown chakra is Om. Okay?
And I'm going to let you do it. My throat's still kind of clearing, but I will be with you guys doing this and showing you where it is so we can climb up that ladder together.
All right, here we go. Let's get the energy going for next week. All right. Lam, vam, ram, yam, ham, sham, 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 Lam, vam, ram, yam, ham, sham,
Breathe all of that energy in for the week. Let it fill you up and then bring it back down like Qigong, bringing the energy up through your field, coming out of your forehead, allowing it to flow down, reconnecting all the way into the earth, pulling all that energy back into the root chakra and up all the chakras to the crown and coming all the way back down. This is the toroidal field, and this will keep the energy moving, clearing, and shifting you all week. Come and join us this week as we move up the ladder to your divine alignment so you can really be in the world as your authentic and true nature.
It has begun.
It has begun.
Has begun. Has begun. Has begun.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like what we do, you can check us out on YouTube. So I do post them here on Facebook, but we do put them directly on YouTube and Instagram every single day. So if you want to climb this ladder and really get into alignment, make sure you subscribe to our channel and also click that little bell to notify you that we have posted a new video. And we do have some availability. We have a couple spots left for the workshop. So if you want to join us, you're in that northern Michigan area, come and play with us. We are getting into our authentic nature and we're going to learn how to communicate that.
Yep, we're going to be working through the four worlds, the physical, the mental, emotional, and the spiritual. And we will be having a lot of fun. And if you are a wine drinker, we will be coming down from our very intense work with a decompression day. The Monday after the retreat will be a nice little wine tour, because the area is Michigan's wine country. Believe it or not, Michigan does have a wine country in there.
It's
pretty
really
good.
nice, and it's beautiful.
If
If
you're
you
not
don't
a wine
drink
drinker,
wine,
you
it's
can just
beautiful.
go and enjoy the scenery, because it's pretty gorgeous.
Yep. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we will see you again tomorrow for Manifestation Monday.
It has begun.
And it has begun. Have a great week. Namaste.